Welcome once again to the USA Up All Night Companion with Dane Michael. I'm of course Dane Michael, and I'm here to talk to you about 1990s Ski School. So Ski School, original air date, November 20th, 1993. It was aired with Young Nurses in Love. This was the first of 7 total airings of Ski School, the first one on USA Up All Night. The sequel was aired, so we will be revisiting Dave Marshak's exploits in a future episode. You can pick up this Blu-ray from the now defunct Olive Films. It's still fairly cheap. I recommend doing that, although if you do want to stream this, I've found it on Tubi at this time and some other streaming services, so it's very easy to access as far as these USA Up All Night movies go. You know it can be a total crapshoot. This one's easy to get a hold of right now, so I would recommend the home media purchase. I actually reviewed this movie one time with some friends of mine. We had a podcast called CF3 TV, and so we were actually able to interview the star, Dean Cameron, Dave Marshak himself, and that was around 2020, I believe. And I just want to play you a little clip from that interview because Dean was a great guy, very nice, and we had a very fun time talking about this hilarious film. But before we get to that, I do want to set up the plot, which is about as thin as the air on Whistler Mountain. And Whistler, as you know, is the setting for Ski School. That's up there in Vancouver, Canada. Whistler actually later became very big featured player in the Winter Olympics that were held up there eventually. So it's kind of funny to me that the mountain is actually for sale as part of this crazy plot. There are some things that are definitely WTF moments in this film. The plot, very convoluted. It's kind of unclear to me and probably to you as well, no matter how many times you watch it, what exactly this setup is. It's hard to tell who's a student, for example, of one of the ski schools. All we know is that Dave Marshak is affiliated with Section 8, and then his rival, Reed Jansen, is from a different ski school. But they're on the same mountain, and maybe there's a dean that's affiliated with both of them. I have no idea. But they're rivals, and apparently only one school is allowed to remain. I don't know. Again, it's all an excuse to see naked women and watch Dave Marshak party until the sun goes down and until it comes back up again.
Dean, what do you remember most about filming this particular movie?
I remember most thinking no one will ever see this movie.
Was it a theatrical film or was this for HBO?
No, this was a theatrical film, and apparently the weekend they were going to roll it out regionally, so start in one area and then if it did well, roll it out. So the first area they released it was in Buffalo, New York, at the height of one of the worst blizzards they'd ever had. So the movie, what's amazing is that it made any money at all in the box office, that people left their house in a horrible, horrible blizzard in Buffalo, New York, and went to see Ski School. I think it made $500 or something opening weekend.
I wonder if they skied there.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe they had seen another movie on Thursday night, and then the blizzard came and they were trapped. And the movie theater people made them pay to go see Ski. I don't know, but I thought no one's going to see this movie, and I'll have this check and pay my rent for a year and be done with it. But that was not the case. It played on cable forever, all the time.
Yes,
Sort of.
This was I'm pretty sure that I saw this on USA Up All Night at some point in the mid 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys, I actually have a Labatt Blue beer in my hand right now. Dean, I know you probably don't appreciate that because you don't drink.
No, I actually started drinking. The Always Sunny people convinced me to start drinking.
They would.
It's the long story, but I won't bore you with it. But yeah, I started drinking after Always Sunny. So,
well, that's good to hear because as soon as I saw that you had booked to do CF3, I went out and bought Labatt Blue because I knew we were doing Ski School. I've never had it in my life until just this weekend when I bought a 6-pack. And I have to say, it tastes like Bud Light, but from Canada. But they were all over the sponsorship in this movie. Like there were signs, and when they go out into the slopes at the end during the big climactic scene, it's cases of Labatt and something else. I can't remember what the other one was, but
Michelob.
Was that Michelob?
Probably.
Yep.
Dean, I gotta ask you, do you like to ski?
I used to, and then I did 2 ski movies and realized that I hated being cold. And
That'll do it.
Did you have to? Did you ever have to legitimately ski for anything to do with those movies?
Yeah, I did. I did all this. I did all the stunts in that movie.
You are a brave man.
No, I did some skiing in that. What's funny is Patrick Labrato didn't ski. They never asked him if he skied. And so when they got up on top of the mountain, the director would carry Patrick around on his back.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's not a small guy either.
No, he is not. He is not. Yeah.
I like how they upgraded him from summer school to somebody a little more techie.
Yeah. Well, sure.
So was this movie actually filmed on Whistler Mountain or near?
It was. Yeah. It was a really fun time during that movie. And we all, like I said, we all thought, why are they making this movie? This is ridiculous. And anyway, they had the last laugh. But yeah, we shot in Whistler. And then what happened was originally the movie was more about the relationship between the young hot guy and the girl. And we were sort of side characters to them. But Patrick and Stuart and I, we connected really well. And so Tom hurt his leg while we were skiing and wasn't really as mobile as they would have liked him to be. So they had me and Patrick and Stuart come into, the producers said, come, let's brainstorm some scene ideas. And so we did. So we came up with the Helium Theater and the Godzilla thing and the Whose Underwear Is This? And the Lambada stuff, because there were 2 Lambada movies out at the time.
No questions from you just yet. Fitz here is going to brief you on the historical perspective of the Lambada. Take it away, Fitz.
Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome, Fitz.
Lambada.
And so we shot those scenes up there, and then after we wrapped, about 8 months later, a year later, they had written a whole other script, and Stuart and I think Patrick too. No, Patrick wasn't around. But yeah, Stuart and I did some reshoots, and they pumped those pushed those in the movie, and then edited it all together, and that's Ski School. Yeah.
So there's probably a point where you thought this might not even come out.
Oh, I didn't think it. When I booked it, I didn't think it was going to come out. I knew it would on video. I mean, that they sell the title, so that was the other thing. They had sold the title Ski School at a film sales thing, and then they whipped together this script that had some really cool stuff. Like there was that Marmot monologue about the dream that was in there. And I thought that's a really cool monologue, and there was some weird subversive stuff in there that wasn't going on at the time in movies. Everything was very important for young actors, and I just like this shitty ski movie. I thought this would be weird and fun, and it'll never come out. So no, it won't matter. But I forgot what you asked me, but probably yes was the answer.
I was going to ask you because you mentioned the helium, Hamlet on helium. Was that one take for you?
No, we did a few takes of that. Yeah. I think.
That was back when they could do more than one take. Helium is awfully scarce these days.
I know, they're running out of helium. We probably contributed to the shortage.
Let's do this, guys. Favorite lines. We'll start with Dean. Did you have one that you remember?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I was actually going to say the line I stole from Groucho Marx. The I could dance with you till the cows come home. That's a Groucho Marx line.
Oh, except for the cum,
And then
the
the
cum
oak-
part.
And the oak, the "Oh Christ, I've come" part is from. Have you ever heard of Derek and Clive? It's Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. Back in the '60s, they used to get completely shit-faced, as shit-faced as possible, stagger into a recording studio and improvise the most foul shit they could come up with. And you've got to listen to it. It's Derek and Clive, but Peter goes, "I want to sing one of those "Oh fucking Christ, I've come" songs."
Want to hear one of those "Oh fucking Christ, I've come" songs?
That's tremendous.
So that's "Oh Christ, I've come."
We will find that on YouTube and attach it to the episode for the listeners to check it out too.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So I have a question here. And the only reason I looked this up is because I swear to God I heard it in the film. The original character's name was Dave Marshall.
Yeah.
Now, upon researching this, I realized that they did ADR to cover it up with Marshak for whatever. I guess there was a Canadian skier named
Shear.
and he wouldn't give up his name, which was kind of stupid on his part.
Yeah, totally.
Is that a movie about you? Yes, it is. He could have said.
Exactly.
But I noticed one of them slipped through because he calls him David Marshall or Dave Marshall. Dane, you've got my back on this. It slipped through one of them.
Well, we heard it in the trailer. He's announced as Dave Marshall in the trailer still. I don't know.
That's it.
For Dave Marshall and his gang, life is one big party.
Welcome to my kingdom. I will bed you all before the night is through.
Jeff.
Well, there's also a visual cue in one of them where they move the name around on the board, and it does say Dave Marshall.
Yeah, that one I knew.
Oh, wow.
But I was listening specifically.
And I got Marshall to give me a Marshall T-shirt too, so I wear that in the movie. So it's the Marshall amplification.
Yeah, I did notice that too.
The Marshall half stack.
Yes, exactly. Full stack.
I gotta ask you guys, what 90s fashion or style trend on display here do you miss the most? And this is multiple choice, but you could also add your own option if it's not represented here. So, do-rags, excessive neon, big hair, huge logos on shirts, guys with an earring, non-ironic ugly Christmas sweaters, big panties, and acid-washed jeans.
Oh my God.
If you could bring one back, Dean, what would it be?
Well, I'd bring back my big hair because I don't have any hair.
Hey, I'm in that club with you.
Yeah. Although it's easier not having hair, but being bald is okay. Going bald is horrible.
Okay, that was Dean Cameron. I hope you enjoyed that choice excerpt of exclusive audio. Now, the rest of the cast. What can I say? You've got Stuart Fratkin, who you might remember from Teen Wolf 2. He is a peeping Tom in this, and he makes himself somewhat likable, despite that fact. And he gets a girl, one of the girls that are able to be gotten in this film, and there are many. Tom Bresnahan, he propped up a film called The Brain from 1988, which was a little like a horror thriller, and I really enjoy that movie, and I enjoy the duality of the performances here. He comes onto the scene as this young hotshot who's helping Section 8, and plays a big role in the movie, and he's the one that gets to score with not one but two women. And he has these really hilarious, almost out of place love scenes 2 different times in the movie where they're playing it quite seriously, whereas the rest of the film is kind of one big joke. Okay, the rest of the cast includes names like Patrick Libiorto, who co-starred with Dean Cameron back in Summer School, his film Summer School, and he was also in Heathers. You've got Darlene Vogel, who played one of Biff's gang members, Spike, from Back to the Future 2. That's very interesting. She was the blonde in Ski School. And Charlie Spradling plays a very likable character in this. She is Reed's would-be girlfriend, who is being courted in a very perverse way by Stuart Fratkin's character. Overall, the cast, very likable. It's going to get a better score than I would give normally an ensemble like this, simply because of Dean Cameron's talent. He really does do a great job of making this an interesting film. He doesn't play like a typical lead. He leaves like the womanizing up to supporting characters, and it's not even evident that he's really that interested in one particular woman until the end. Of course, he gets what he wants, but Dean Cameron, such a great actor. Out of 20, I'm going to give this a 15. For the story and screenplay, I'm actually going to give this a 13. The reason I'm wearing different clothes than in the other sections is I originally rated this an 11, and I had a change of heart once I realized like how the story actually came together. So a lot of the things that didn't make sense to me, for example, the lambada, the army men with the Godzilla, that's a very juvenile, weird thing for them to do, right? Well, that's because Dean and Stuart Fratkin and Pat Labiorto, they had to kind of get together with the director, and they basically ad-libbed all of these scenes like the night before, because they had to do a pivot on what the main story was going to be. I actually find them to be quirky, if not WTF moments. They're quirky, and they're not things that you see in a lot of movies like this. So they did kind of like go above and beyond the Call of Duty to ensure that there were still entertaining scenes. I can't give it more than 13 because, let's be honest, the story is very basic and it still doesn't make a lot of sense, and the plot's still convoluted. But we at least have the sense that we're building towards something, and the payoff is pretty great, actually, in my opinion. So 13 out of 20. Sleaze and Gore is our category. I'm going to go 9 out of 20 on Sleaze and Gore. There is no gore whatsoever, which is not surprising for a movie called Ski School. Sleaze is brought in healthy doses, but it's kind of weird to call it sleaze because this movie is very comedic, lighthearted the whole time. You don't actually like feel dirty or filthy watching it or watching anything that goes on, but it's very comedic in that sense. We still have to give it a score here for being sleazy. There is some homophobia, which was kind of like an 80s, 90s trademark sometimes out of comedies like this, but it's pretty mild, and it actually stands up better than a lot of movies of its era in that regard. There's mostly comedic situations with like peeping toms, for example, Stuart Fratkin, multiple occasions. There's 2 really out of place, serious love scenes that are extended, which those were kind of like filmed, and you just get the sense the director was like checking boxes at that point. Like, okay, we have the gratuitous nudity in our 2 love scenes, but the rest of the time, toplessness in hot tubs and things like that. So I feel very safe giving this a 9 out of 20. Production value out of 20. Again, I do take budget into consideration. This was a probably modestly budgeted film, but it looks great. The skiing sequences are actually very professional. They are almost on the level of something that like a Mike Marvin would do. If you don't know who Mike Marvin is, he directed Hot Dog the movie and was actually known for being able to professionally shoot skiing sequences. So the ski sequences were very well done. They had like professional, legitimate beer brands and sponsors here, like Labatt's appears with all kinds of advertisements on the slopes. And I just thought that the acting, the editing, and cinematography, all of these things are combining to make a pretty professional production for the budget level. There wasn't anything that jumped out at me as a red flag about being terrible. Even the music is really good. They've got a band called Lockup, which was Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine's band prior to joining that band. So Lockup has a couple of great songs on the soundtrack. The pacing is great, so I have no problems with the editing. So I'm going to give this a 15 out of 20 for that score. Okay, let's bring up the Trope Tracker and see if we can get 20 more points for Ski School. First of all, is there a peeping Tom? Yes, there is. It's Stuart Fratkin, and he first peeps on Charlie Spradlin's character while she's in granny panties, and he's peeping through the door. He later spies on her while laying on a rooftop as she's in a hot tub. So there you go. Peeping Tom, full on. Nerd or geek present in the film? The closest would be Stuart Fratkin's character, but he's kind of a ladies' man, as it turns out. And I don't think that the intent here is for him to be your typical nerd geek stereotype, which are rampant throughout 80s, 90s films. So we're going no here. Shower or hot tub? Yes, we already mentioned the hot tub Charlie Spradlin's in. There's also the hot tub scene very briefly with Dave Marshak at the end and his lady who bought Whistler Mountain. And there's another hot tub scene just prior to them teaching the women about lambada. So we've got 2 out of 3 points so far. Is there a montage? Yes, there's ski montages galore. And so they're not maybe your typical plot advancing ones, but some of them do. Some of them do, actually, including the racing, climactic racing scenes with, for example, women flashing their breasts to distract the rival skiers. Cheesy songs, do we have them? Yeah, we've got them. There's plenty of them. There's also some really good songs on here, and I think that if Terror Vision, for example, were to release this soundtrack on vinyl on some amazing colorway, that it would sell very well. In fact, I do not typically buy soundtracks on vinyl, and I would probably pick that one up because it's so fun. Is there a horny older woman in this? Well, I mean, you could make an argument that some of the women are older than would normally be found in films like this, but remember, in the 80s, everybody was being cast older than they are in today's films. So the women here are not supposed to be older than our protagonists. They're supposed to be at the same age, so that's a no. Is there an on-screen kill? No, this is a comedy, and it's not one of those types of comedies. Politician or mobster? No, we got a little bit close on this. The heavy in this one is supposed to be like a school official. Nudie mag? Surprisingly, no, and I do not count when there's like a centerfold ripped out of a magazine that's hung on the wall as a poster. I don't count those. I want the magazine actually being featured to give it the point. Is there a mall scene? No. We're stuck at a ski lodge, ski resort the whole time. Weed alert. Yes, I'm giving the point here for a technicality. There is a part of the film that I'm going to show you right here.
Okay, who's smoking?
Skinny dipping? Yes, we're going to get a 6th point racked up here for skinny dipping because it's not like full on, but there's people who are nude in the hot tub or topless in the hot tub. That counts. Is there the implication that you have sex, you die? No. That's the goal in this film. Are there punks? No, the not your traditional punks. The punks in this film are kind of more like preppies, so that's a no. Simulated farting? No, we do have some belching because they're so full of beer, but there's no farting in this, interestingly enough. Creature on the loose? No. Suntan lotion? Nope, not at the ski resort. Fake commercial? Yeah, we're going to give it a 7th point here for having a fake commercial, and I'm using the justification of Reed's television program about his ski school. I think that's more of like a commercial advertisement, so I'm going to count it. Is there a former or a future A-lister here? No, Dean Cameron's the biggest member of the cast. Nobody went on to do anything bigger than what he is doing, so that's a no. And is there another USA Up All Night movie referenced within this film? No. If Lambada, on the other hand, had been aired on USA Up All Night, we'd really be onto something, but that's a no. And so on the Trope Tracker, Ski School picks up an additional 7 points. And so taking into account these extra 7 points from the Trope Tracker, Ski School crosses the finish line with a score of 59 out of 100. Not a bad showing whatsoever. Let's take a look and see how it compares with other reviewers' scores. On IMDb, we have a score of 4.9 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, this is the audience score, not the critic score. We got a 59%, not bad at all. That actually matches ours. And on Letterboxd, a 2.4, that's out of 5, which would be about a 4.8 out of 10, so lower than ours. And then Leonard Maltin could not be bothered to review this in his 1998 movie and video guide, which I was actually quite surprised by. And as a postscript, I do want to tell you, if you like this film and ski films in general, you got to check out the episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, entitled The Gang Hits the Slopes. It's a season 11 episode. It's the 3rd episode that aired. You can find it on your whatever streaming service. It's a riotous parody of these ski comedies, and it features Dean Cameron in just a hilarious role. That's all I got for you Section 8ers. Hope you stick around for my next episode, and hey, keep watching these sleazy, crazy late night classics.